The president is in the middle of another busy day to discuss the latest at the White House and more. I want to bring in CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Hi, Ed. So the president will be heading to Italy and Scotland in a few days for conferences addressing climate change. Unfortunately for optics, however, climate change, or at least the piece of his spending package that's supposed to address climate change, looks like it's one of the pieces that may be on the chopping block as Democrats, hash out what will finally be in that social spending bill. What's the latest on negotiations?
Well, not likely to be entirely on the chopping block, but it could get hedged back a little bit. Let's say it was a bush and it's getting trimmed because they are essentially trimming and tweaking virtually everything inside this Build Back Better plan as originally envisioned to try to get it to a lower price in order to get enough support from across the party spectrum to get it passed. There have been some comments made by some House leaders today that we could be just within hours of an announced framework of a deal on the reconciliation package. And again, that reconciliation package is the social spending and climate change aspects of the president's agenda, the more expensive, more expansive proposals that have been really mired in talks between moderates and liberals in the House congressional wings, disagreements not only between senators, members of the House, but members in either of those chambers over what exactly should be in this. Essentially, right now, we're looking at reducing the ambition by, for example, if there is something regarding paid family leave, instead of it being 12 weeks, there's talks of it making of there being just 4 weeks of paid family leave. Although one key moderate, Joe Manchin, has said he still has concerns about that. Instead of having Medicare cover all dental coverage, for example, for members, it might give out a voucher of some amount to eligible people to get some of their dental care covered. And instead of raising income tax rates on many Americans, there is expected to be tomorrow released details of what's called the billionaire's tax, or some kind of tax on the nation's billionaires. Only about 700 Americans are worth at least $1 billion. How exactly that would be implemented, what it would cover, remains to be seen. But that is something that it appears enough Democrats could agree to. It wouldn't pay for everything either, and that's part of the problem, is that this entire thing has to be paid for with either taxes or some kind of revenue. So the talks continue. The president's scheduled to leave on Thursday. In Washington, that's plenty of time, potentially, but a lot of I's have to be dotted, T's have to be crossed, meetings need to be held. The White House just announcing a little while ago that a handful of House members will be here a little later to meet with senior aides to talk about details of that Build Back Better plan. These are primarily members who lead what are called the Tri-Caucuses, the Asian, Black, and Latino caucus, and then the Women's and Equality caucuses. So these are people that represent some of the most loyal of Democratic Party constituencies. This may be an attempt by the White House to try to make sure that they're all still on board and explain why it is that this plan has been changing so much.
Does sound like a finish line is in sight, though, getting closer. So, Ed, the president is also heading to Virginia tonight to campaign for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe. What can we expect from that, and how significant is his appearance in the final days of this campaign?
Well, if you ask Republicans, they say this is exactly what Terry McAuliffe doesn't need, because the president's approval and popularity in the state of Virginia is in the 40s, despite the fact that he won the state last year by 10 points. Democrats will turn around and say nobody does it better than the president of the United States, no matter who it is, to help a member of his party whip up support, especially among core members of their party. He's headed over to Arlington, Virginia, Arlington County in northern Virginia, a voter-rich part of the Old Dominion, and a Democratic stronghold. So the president going over there to try to remind members of his own party and independents that like him that they've got to get out and vote early this week, or they've got to go cast a ballot next Tuesday. This race remains quite close. You use all sorts of expressions to explain how competitive this contest remains, in part because Republicans have been able to keep focused on parental choice or parental control of childhood education. This has become a flashpoint at school board meetings all across the country, but also notably across pockets of Northern Virginia, with concerns about whether or not certain social policies or ways of thinking or different kinds of changes in school safety measures are being put in place or not being put in place, in addition to all the focus on the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. And so Glenn Youngkin, the Republican, is in the midst of a bus tour that's taken him across much of the state to Republican parts, and he's found a great appeal with a collection of independent voters who believe that after mask mandates and all the tumult in this country over the last few years, that parents should be able to have a little more say in their children's education. That plus the president's declining popularity, Republicans believe could be enough to get them over the finish line and win them back the State House in Virginia.
It's interesting that the issue of parents versus the school board is coming front and center. I think we're going to be hearing more of that in the days ahead. All right, Ed O'Keefe at the White House, thank you so much for joining us.
Take care.